Mr. Dean. So we got a new lesson here to show you. This one is kind of like using the array function that I was showing you, I think, last week, but I'm just going to go into a little bit more detail with it and just show you the basically what you can do with it. So first things first, let's just make a column. So we'll grab our circle tool and just going to make it with a radius of 10 inches. So radius 10, enter. And then we're going to push-pull this up 10 feet. So there's our column. So first things first, I'll just do a recap of how to do the array function. So let's start out by making this a group. So we'll select it all by either dragging your cursor over the object left to right or triple clicking. And then once you do that, right click, make group. So now this is a group. So if we remember from last time, if we grab our move tool and click on the object, before you do that, click control to get the plus sign over that move tool. Then drag it, and then we'll just offset it by 5 feet. So 5 foot. And then without doing any other commands or touching any other features, just type in times 5, and then we'll get 5 extra columns. So, and remember, we can also add columns by typing in times 6, or times 3, or times 2. Basically, once you're still engaging the tool, you can modify it as much as you want, times 10. So that's the array function. Now, there's another array function that works opposite to that. So this one fills in objects rather than adds objects. So it'll divide objects evenly between two copied objects. So if we grab our move tool again and click control or option, grab that object. Let's say we want to move it 30 feet. Enter, and then divide. Now what you're going to do is press that slash key down at the bottom here, and that's divide, and then type in /5. Now what it did is it evenly spaced 4 columns in between these two columns that are 30 feet apart. So again, like the other tool, we can divide by 2 or divide by 10 or divide by 100. But let's just keep it at 5. So that's the I like to call that one the in-between array, and the other one is more like the additional array. So that's arrays. Now there's really cool things you can do with the array. One of the cool features is that SketchUp will remember how you copied the array. So let's just what I'm going to do here is make just basically like a small little platform to show you what I mean. Kind of like a little staircase. So if we just draw, it doesn't have to be perfect, but just make sure you have a bunch of individual surfaces that you can push-pull from. So let's make this first one here, second one here, maybe a little bit taller. Here. Yeah, sure, something like that. So if we bring this column to the top of that, right up there, now with the array function, you can copy it along a path, but it'll be the same path that you copied the first step from. So these steps would have to be equal. I mean, in this example, they're not, but you could see how they would work in an evenly divided staircase. So if we grab our move tool again and click option, and then copy this down to this ledge, and then if we repeat the same process, type in times 3, we get 3 columns that have now been copied in the same angle that the first 2 are copied. So if we type in times, let's see, 8. See, like I drew the staircase not quite correct, but you could see how if you had an evenly drawn staircase, you would be able to get a nice copied array for maybe like spindles in a railing or something like that. So let's just get rid of all this stuff, and I'll show you one more interesting feature. So we'll just bring this back up here. So this array is what I like to call the rotation array. So what you got to do is grab your rotate tool once this is selected. And I found this that you can actually press Control or Option, and that little plus sign actually comes up again. So you can rotate and copy at the same time. So let's start with the compass like this. So we're going to copy it on the green axis, and we're going to copy it around like that. And then you'll see at the bottom the angle. So why don't we just type in 180? Enter. So now it's just copied at 180 from where that protractor is. And now type in times 4. Whoops. Times 4. Sorry, I might have to do this again. So grab it, go to rotate, press option, rotate it 180 degrees, and then type in times 5. Oh, I'm doing it wrong. Okay, so this, there, oops, Control 180, and then type in 180 divided by 5. There. So now what this does is it fills in between the 2 points with 5 extra columns. 4 in this, well, SketchUp counts this as one of the columns, but it fills it in. So again, you can do divided by 10, or divided by 12, or divided by, 3. It just fills it in between the 2 points. So that's one way to do the array function. So hope this helps. Yeah.